All right, welcome everyone to this Mountain Man Monday, episode 10 for November 25th, 2019. So we'll give it a few minutes and let everybody roll in here on this Monday before Thanksgiving. Gobble, gobble. Hey, Tim. Good to see you. I noticed you on the live stream last night over in Yitz, and good to have you here. Got a few people popping in. Give it a few minutes and get a mic check and a video check, please. I know video in the mountains is as best as it can be, and hopefully the audio is nice and crystal clear, at least that. Hey, Marvin, welcome. Welcome into the live stream tonight. Glad to be back with you guys. It's been a few weeks. As always, it takes, life happens. And good. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate that. Video, audio check. Looking good. So what's new? I was showing this in the thumbnail. I think my grandmother made this, actually. I'd have to ask my mom. But we always put this decoration up around Thanksgiving. This is like handmade, like crochet. I'm not into that. I just don't know. But boy, that's kind of a lost art, isn't it? Like people who know how to make stuff like this. I mean, you can always buy something that's made, but pretty cool. So yeah, Thanksgiving's coming up. I personally am enjoying the seasons change. Been out and about a little bit. What else has been going on? Geez, just work and busy. Trying to think. It's been a couple of weeks. I was down in Orlando and I did a quick video of where I was staying, so that's neat. But up here in the mountains, almost all the leaves are done, gone off the trees, and winter time is here. We had a really cold week a couple weeks ago. It was like 15 one time at night. So anyway, you know what? And I've talked to you guys about that before. When I used to live in Florida, the heat would run long in the tooth for me personally. So I like the cool weather. And then just when I kind of get tired of the cold weather, spring happens around here. So Western North Carolina is pretty nice. Pretty nice. How about you guys? How's it going with you? How's everybody doing? Let's see here. Fall seemed very short. We went from summer to winter. Yeah. Let's see here. Tim, the last 2 years, it's been like September 30th. We were like still in the 70s, and something all of a sudden on November the 1st, it's like it's cold. Hey, what about Dawn? It's nice to have you here tonight. Thanks for joining us. It's good to see you. I hadn't seen you on this live stream in a while, so welcome. And if Will's within earshot, please tell him that I said hello. And you guys have been doing some great work over on the Yitz channel. It's been really cool. So good job to you all, and happy early Thanksgiving. Marvin said, the trees in my backyard have no leaves left on them. Yeah, I mean, it's just about that point. Now, what was interesting was I had to make a connection in Atlanta when I was down in Florida. I flew, and when I was flying through Atlanta, I mean, this naturally, but they're more south. They're just now starting to get into the leaf color change. Like a lot of the trees were still green, and there's just some that were red, looking at. So, I mean, the further you go south, and then you go to Florida and forget about it, there's no leaf change. And we got Triple M Mom in here. Hello. Be seeing you soon. So that's cool. Will said hi. Thanks, Don. Appreciate it. I saw that a video just popped up from you all just a few minutes ago, so I'll have to check that out. Getting ready to go to Europe next month. That's awesome, Marvin. What are any particular part, like Eastern or Western Europe, or going to be visiting anything? That's always an adventure. That should be really cool. Get to see some neat. It's always neat to go to a different culture and see how things are. Try the food, see how the people. In my experience, as you've seen on my channel, oftentimes it's nice to kind of see how other cultures are, and sometimes people are more polite, sometimes maybe less. It's really cool to see how the different parts of the world are, kind of get outside of our normal routine and see other areas. Croatia. Oh, wow. Cool. I think my dad told me once that I'm like 164th Croat. In fact, I think the lady who made this, my grandma, was the one who has the Croatian in her. So, man, I'm always like 80% on my facts, by the way. You guys ever notice that in the live stream? I'm always like, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. Will you be doing any Christmas light videos? I would like to, pardon me, Tim, in Western North Carolina. There are a few areas around here that would be pretty nice. Lake Julian Park has some. The Arboretum does. There's a few other pieces, or a few other places. And so, yeah, I would like to do some. So, so Patrick Neal, hey, welcome, Patrick. He said, "Are you hyped for the 20s?" If you mean 20-degree weather, yeah, I'm good for 20-degree weather. I got my winter coat. I got my hat. As long as you're dressed appropriately, I can deal with the cold. Now, that being said, I've been up in like Minnesota and stuff. When you start talking about -10, -20 and wind blowing, that's a whole different ball game than 15, 20, 25 degrees, which is more like a novelty cold, like a wintertime Western North Carolina cold. Oh, it's going to be the new era of 20s. Ready for 20 to 20 to 2030. I don't know, like coming up, I guess. Living in the now right now. Are you excited about it? Marvin said, a piece of music I wrote for flute and piano is being recorded by the principal flutist of the Vienna Philharmonic. Marvin, congratulations. That is really, really cool. Congrats to you, and that is really neat. So I think yeah, I think that's really interesting, and that's really neat. You'll have to tell us about your experience when you travel, and how that goes. That's really cool. I don't know. I'm trying to start people saying 20s like 40s and 70s because it sounds cool. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really given it much thought, but it's an interesting take. Yeah, you found my stream randomly. Okay. Well, you're not a troll, are you? I'm not popular enough to have trolls yet. But we keep it pretty loose here. So whatever you all want to talk about. Hey, Don and Will and Honey Bear. Yeah, Honey Bear, I've seen some cool videos, with Honey Bear in it when the snow, both past and present. But you're a troll sometimes, but not trolling me. That's good. That's cool. Thanks, Patrick. Appreciate it. I'm originally from Michigan, but I'm just north of Chattanooga now. I don't think I could handle the snow and cold anymore. Yeah, so Chattanooga, yeah, you're a bit more temperate than even because. Hey, Tim, are there mountains like in that part? You're talking about that's South Central Tennessee, right? Is where Chattanooga, south on 75. Correct me if I'm wrong. Again, as typical, 80% on my facts. Nikki Mays, hello from PA. Yeah. Yes, two mountains. So there are mountains or no mountains, kind of foothills or but if there are, I didn't know if the temperature is cooler there. Chattanooga is cool. I had never been over there. I mean, might have to drive over there sometime. Nikki Mays, welcome to the live stream. And from Pennsylvania, I'll tell you this much from Pennsylvania. A lot of folks in here know I'm a Steelers fan, and we squeaked one out yesterday. Yeah. Oh, Lookout Mountain and Signal Mountain are in Chattanooga. Okay, cool. I also know there's some tourist attractions and stuff. Tim, do you have a channel where you do anything over there in Chattanooga? I'm embarrassed if you do, and if oh no, you don't. Okay, not that you needed to. I just want to make sure I didn't miss it. So yeah, yeah. It's pretty cool. I wonder how Patrick, how did you, if you're still here, I see people bouncing in and out. I wonder how somebody finds my live stream randomly. I wonder if there's like a YouTube area where just live streams pop up or something like that. Normally you have to be subscribed to me. So, yeah. So yeah, looking forward to Thanksgiving. Got a big turkey yesterday from Ingles, 24 pounds. Butterball 24-pound turkey. That thing is big and starting to thaw. And so it won't be a brick on Thanksgiving Day. And we talked in one of the other live streams about the different fixins that we like on Thanksgiving. And so we go pretty traditional, not a whole lot outside the bounds, going to be eaten up. So we'll go back to Thanksgiving. So Tim said, I like the idea about doing a channel. Now there's YouTube COPPA. Let me talk about that for a minute. Okay. Because I know I'm not a large channel, so I don't have a large audience to speak this to, but share about the 10-minute mark in this live stream, because I'm going to give you some insight into that from a technical perspective, because that's my area of trade. And I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about it, but there is some legitimacy to some people who are going to be affected. So let me talk to you about COPPA, which stands for oh gosh, I just drew a blank. Child Online Privacy and Protection Act. Geez, I don't know why. I knew that by heart. But anyway, so there's some changes to YouTube, and the problem is there's a lot of videos out there striking fear in an inappropriate way, and there's a misinterpretation of what it actually is and how it impacts folks. And I'm going to go back to this live stream and leave the link to the official video from YouTube for creators about it. But it is pretty straightforward if you are a channel that is not making content specifically directed to children. I'm going to get into this because I have a family and children, and I know some of those things, those channels, and I know types of channels like that. These people, unfortunately, are going to be seriously impacted. So the types of channels we're talking about here are like, because my kids watch them, are like Come Play With Me and video game channels. These are people who have millions of subscribers, and their content is specifically created for kids. You wouldn't believe, I said millions. I mean, some of these children's channels have blown up, and they're huge, and they are making a lot of money for personalized ads and what they're getting from YouTube for their channel. What the misinterpretation is that if you are making or have a channel that happens to be family friendly, okay, but not necessarily intending that for children, that's still okay. There's two ways that you can set your YouTube channel for this new restriction. So you can set it at your channel level. There's two options, two radio buttons. Either your channel is intended for children or it is not intended for children. Okay. If you mark not intended for children at the channel level, it will propagate that selection for all new videos and all of your past videos. That does not mean that your channel is still not family friendly. What it means is that you're not making a video with two dolls that are playing with each other and is specifically intended for kids, or you're recording yourself playing Minecraft and you're talking about how to beat that game. That is specifically intended for children. And so I think there's a confusion there, because if you set not intended for children, that doesn't mean you're not a family friendly channel. But I'm going to tell you where another misinterpretation is. One of the other misinterpretations is that they're going to come after you, and I'm going to give you a use case of where people are going to have a problem. I'm going to tell you from a technical perspective, and I understand bots and all of that being in the technical community. So if you mark your channel as not intended for children, for all intents and purposes, you're exempt from all of these issues. Here's where the problem lies. When people have a hidden agenda behind their videos, they're trying to target children, and it's not a child's video, they're going to get hammered. And let me give you a use case. Let's say I make a video and I have like 3 or 4 young kids or teenagers, and they all get the new squirt guns, you know, from the toy store. And I title it the XJ1000 versus the XJ2000 water gun comparison. And I have the kids fighting and shooting their water guns. And then in the middle of the video, all of a sudden, one of the kids starts vaping. And he says, and the one kid goes, "Well, what are you doing there?" And they say, "Oh, this tastes really good. It tastes like candy. It's just like cherry." And then the other kid's like, oh, really? What is that? And they're like, well, it's Juul. It's called vaping. See, what that is that creator made a video that was intended for children and tried to inject into it content that is not intended for children. Those bots will be able to pick up videos like that. And that's the kind of people they're going to go after. When you try to maliciously make a video that's intended for children, that does not have children's content in it, that's the people I think they're going to make an example of. Not somebody who misinterprets and says, I really am making like a kid's video, it's animated, it's a video game, and something gets picked up that it wasn't intended for children. That's debatable. But the real exempt part here is you don't want to target, because what it is it solely intended for children? And most of the people in this community, the vlogging travel community, these are not children's channel. It does not mean it's not a family channel as well. It just means it's not solely and most purposely intended for children, like a lot of the children channels I actually see on YouTube Kids and on YouTube. And let me tell you, that's where the fear in the community is. You have to understand, there are people that in the last 5 to 10 years have made their career out of children's videos with millions of subscribers and building a brand. These people are going to have significantly reduced income because of their channels that are primarily intended. Again, if you want to Google or look up one on YouTube after this, Come Play With Me. They take dolls. It's like 2 Barbie dolls. The kids watch it and they have millions of subscribers. It's crazy. Those people now are going to have to mark their channel as intended for children, because that's what it is. And they're not going to get that ad revenue like they used to. And that's a problem. But but if you say at the channel level, not intended for children, you can still have a family-friendly channel. And YouTube is not looking to come after somebody that marked their entire channel as not intended for children. Okay, that they're looking for people that say, I'm making a children's video and it's not of really intended for children. So I'm not getting this conversation is not getting into anything political. One of the other live streams I was on, it has nothing. This is strictly from a technical perspective. The bots are not going to be looking for people who say their channel at the channel level or their video level is marked not for children. They're not looking for those videos. They're looking for people. It'd be like having a PG movie. You would never get it through MPAA, but if you had a PG movie where they slipped in the F-bomb and like gross violence or something, that would not work. You can't have a PG movie that's just not valid. If you make a video and you mark that and you say this is for kids, it better be for children. And this is really applicable again to children channels that are primarily for children. As YouTube states it, what does a child's video constitute? I have the information here. This is pretty clear. It was clear as a bell to me. Made for kids, the subject matter of the video. If the children are the intended audience, again, in the travel community and the travel vlogs, children are not our intended audience. They might happen to show up because it's a family-friendly channel, but it's not intended for children. It includes child actors or models. Remember what I said about the 2 dolls playing with each other? It includes characters, celebrities, or toys that appeal to children. Once again, is it toys? Are you doing toy reviews? Are you doing video games? It uses language that is meant for children to understand. For example, reading a children's book online, reading, something directed at children. It includes activities that appeal to children. It includes songs, stories, or poems that appeal to children. When you make videos that are encompassing these facts and you are specifically targeting children, then this is the kind of channel that they're going to have some issues with the revenue portion of it. But I'm telling you, there should be no fear by anybody who has a family-friendly channel that has marked their channel as not intended for children. You just march on. You have a family-friendly channel. I consider mine basically a family-friendly channel. There's nothing offensive, but I don't consider this intended solely for children. If you look at my audience and metrics, it's really a 40+ channel for the most part. So I hope that clears up a little bit of it. I hate to see people that are really not intending their videos for children. These are not children's channels, and they're worried about a bot coming after a video marked not intended for children. That's not what is happening. Go back to my use case about trying to target children and having content that is not intended for children. That is the people eventually I think will get made an example of, maybe in fines or maybe getting their YouTube account shut down. And then all the fear on all those videos, if you query COPA for YouTube and you look at it, all the fear, like I've looked at them, a lot of the lawyers and stuff, look at their videos. One of the lawyers that had videos, I went to his videos, guess what he had videos of? His baby and his children. So he was going to be impacted because he had videos that were specifically intended for children. And he had 30,000 subscribers. He's going to have an impact on ad revenue. So I'm not saying that COPA doesn't have an impact. It's going to have an impact for people who have children intended channels. It's going to have an impact. But for this community, for the most part, especially, and that's what I did for my channel, all my channels, I marked it at the channel level. I said not intended for children. It's a family-friendly channel, but it's not primarily intended for children. This live stream, if somebody showed up that was young, there would be nothing offensive, but it is not intended for children. And so I hope that clears up a little bit from the technical perspective. So for Tim and whoever wanted to do a channel, don't worry about it. You just mark your channel at the top as not intended for children, because you're not doing 2 dolls or video games or opening up the new Lego set. That was another channel I saw. This one gentleman, all his videos were putting Legos together and doing Legos. That's a child's channel. He's going to take a huge hit. It was like 500 Lego videos. And then the last one said, I think I'm quitting YouTube. You know why? Because he would need to mark his as intended for children. He could mark it not intended for children, which would be fine. YouTube is not going to reverse that. They're not going to take one that says not intended for children and toggle the bit. What they're looking for is somebody who says, mine's a child video. That'll be placed under the microscope more closely, either through automation bots or whatever. And I think that again, my Juul example and vaping and trying to sneak that in. And then could you imagine those 2 kids with the squirt guns? And then in the link below, they had some link for Juul. And, that kind of malicious behavior, or trying to forget about e-vaping or vaping or anything, just trying to market your product and slide in a hidden agenda to kids' videos. You can't do that. So I hope that people understand from my technical perspective, it's very clear. You're really safe if you just decide to set it at the channel level, say not intended for children, and you should be in good shape. They're not after that. Again, to be very clear, it's once you cross that line, say, I'm making a child's video, they're going to say, it better be a child's video. And I don't think they're going to have the bandwidth, even with automation and stuff. I think it's going to be much like the copyright. What happens now if you put a song and you get a ding, you're not getting a phone call. You're getting a slap on the wrist. Now, you don't hold me to that part. It's just they don't have an army of people to go after all that. But I'm telling you, one last thing I want to say about this, and we're going to segue into this. YouTube has been a new medium for making a career out of it in the last 5 or 10 years. And it's been fantastic because this model is amazing. YouTube was originally just a place for people to upload videos, but then once they saw that they were making a lot of ad revenue by lots of watches or views, they said, well, we need the power of the creator. We need to incentivize creators to make really cool videos so that we can sell more ads, and we'll give them a cut of it. Everybody wins. Google stock goes up, their empire grows, and creators make money. But this is the volatility of this. I do believe that YouTube is a new medium. I think cable TV and satellite TV and a lot of the ways that TV's done is a thing of the past. In its traditional format. YouTube is a massive power and will continue because this format of creating videos and such. But this goes to show the weakness that still holds up the platform, because things like regulation, restrictions, things that come in sideways like this for children's protection, this is the volatility that could snag at any time. And I really do feel badly for the people that have like 2 million subscribers, have probably no, I hope they invested that money and they were totally a children's channel. I don't, I don't know if it's going to go to zero revenue because of the ads and such, but to not be fully incentivized, but you just always have to have that plan B because it still is volatile and it's still being shaped the next 5 to 7 years, and how the internet and YouTube and ways to make money like that will continue to evolve. So I would never be surprised by these things that come up. And again, I'm not being political, I'm being technical about it from a technical perspective. This just goes to show that it's still a medium that has some vulnerabilities. And I really do feel sad for the people that are strictly, the come play with me and the Lego channels and the video game channels. A lot of millennials too have made their stake in YouTube. A lot of people between the years of 20, 30 years old have made empires on YouTube. We're not talking 15,000 subscribers. We're talking 500,000, million, 2 million, 3 million subscribers, and have their entire income based on this. And they're going to be severely impacted, or they're going to need to evolve their channel into a not intended for children. So anyway, that's 16 minutes on it. If you want to share that with your friends on a technical perspective, I think, again, to recap, you can have a family-friendly channel that does not mean you're alienating, but your channel is not solely intended. I hope the use cases I gave you about what constitutes a children's channel is on YouTube, because I see these things firsthand because of my family. And also not to fear, because I think you can still make great content and be a family channel. Just don't mark your videos as solely intended for children unless that's really what you're doing. Make sure you know I'm making a children's video. I'm going to sit here, I'm going to read this nursery book, and this was made for children, and there's absolutely no content that is going to be for somebody over the age of 13 years old. I hope that helps. I need to go back through and read through the comments because I was staring at the camera the whole time. So let's see if you guys agreed or disagreed with me. And I need to say hi to some people. Chris about t-shirts. Yes. Miss you, man. Blondie's Adventures. Great to have you here as well. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you're still here. Vols fan in Ohio. Yay. I hope you're here. You said you couldn't leave or you couldn't stay long. Traveling Hoosier. Yes. Glad to have you here. And Crystal Copenhagen. Cooey from Ireland. Awesome to have you here as well. Shout out to all you people. Now I'm going to read the comments. Let's see. Good evening. Hi, Chris. Hi, Mr. Mountain Man. Just getting in. Hello. Larkin's Lair got a response to his email from the FTC about COPA, and he read it on his channel. You're right. There's nothing to worry about. That's right. And again, technical perspective, that's kind of my craft. So I just wanted to dispel the fear, because there's a lot of good people in this community, a lot of really hardworking people that are friends of mine in this community that it was a shame to see them concerned about this. I really, just some really awesome people in this community. And I don't want to name names, just assume that it's all of you. And I just wanted to give my 2 cents on it. Even though I know I'm a smaller channel, but you can share at the 10-minute mark from this live stream if anybody has fear to listen to it. And again, if you're querying COPA, take it with a grain of salt. You need to look at whose channel it is, because they'll strike fear and be like, COPA's ruining the world. It's probably because their channel was a lot of content intended for children. And I say that kind of sadly because I feel badly for them, but they haven't, they're shaking in their boots because they might have, this might be their career at this, their brand, their whatever they're doing. It could be really impactful for them. Let's see. That's a huge help in understanding COPA. I appreciate you breaking that down. Why don't they just move all those videos to the kids' YouTube channel? And actually, our kids do have YouTube Kids. It's pretty interesting, that format and what gets filtered into there. I'm not 100% sure that everything that's going to be marked for kids is going to be siphoned into it. But Tim, you kind of wonder about that would be a natural segregation. Just to say, if they say it's YouTube Kids, it should just be on YouTube Kids. And YouTube is everybody who marked the channel as not intended for children. And then when you sign up for a regular YouTube account, you have to be 13 years old. Oh, I want to say one other thing. As a parent, there are people that have said, and they are right, And when you hand your phone to the kid, it's the parent's responsibility. I agree with that. I agree that it's the parent's responsibility to monitor video games and TV watching and everything. As a father myself, I will say that I do my best to filter everything. It is very, very difficult. I try to do everything, and I'm a technical person, to monitor, to follow everything. But the YouTube algorithm, I'm not talking about for creators. I'm talking about, how potato chips, you can't just eat one, you got to keep eating more. And Facebook, how you never want to stop scrolling because you don't know what's coming next. There is millions of dollars that go into that UX design of Facebook so that you never stop scrolling, and then you hit the next ad and then you want to see what's coming up next. It's ingenious, but that was not, didn't take 2 seconds to come up with. YouTube's algorithm to get you to continue to watch things is very sophisticated too, and you'll end up somewhere where you didn't intend to be. Okay, you might query, I don't know, how to hunt. I'm not a hunter. And you watch some hunting videos, and then the next one that's suggested to you is, how to skin a deer. And then the next one is, turns into like conservative, politics, because a lot of hunters. And then the next one turns into something, that's not appropriate. The path that leads you to those recommended videos, that's all on YouTube's court. That's not on the adult or the child or whatever. They have algorithms that will keep you going to the well to want to watch that next video. And the problem with that with a child is they might start with a benign query for something innocent, but as they click those videos, they go deeper in a well. And as a parent, you can't watch over the shoulder the entire time and know what that next video they're clicking on. It's impossible to monitor 24/7. So you just get to the point where you're like, no YouTube at all. We've done that too. We do that. We're like, no YouTube at all. Or no this or no that, or none of this channel or none of that. But that's me as a parent. There's a lot of parents out there that are single working parents, and they don't have the bandwidth. And, there's all kinds of people in life situations. So sometimes the responsibility does, and trust me, I'm in the technical community, has to go back on the software makers, because if they have malicious intent themselves and their algorithms are, it's all about the money. It's all about ads, ad revenue. This is money. YouTube wasn't made as a kind gesture to the world. It's there to make money, money by ads. So they have their own agenda about how to get people going back to the well and watching more videos. So there's a little bit of responsibility on them to not have those algorithms be so malicious to take people down a path. Now, most of the time, it's not like that. You're looking roller coasters, and it takes you another roller coaster, takes you another roller coaster. But depending on what you're looking at, it can lead down a path. And I've seen that path myself. I bet we all have, where you get to that next video and you're like, that's a weird one that it's recommending over there. I don't think going to watch that. So anyway, I agree with everybody who says it's the parent's responsibility, but it's impossible to cover those bases 100%. And so if there is a hidden agenda, again, on behalf of the software maker that's trying to too aggressively go after their audience, then that has to be examined as well. Not unlike maybe what happened with the cigarette makers back in the day, trying to promote cigarettes to a younger age to try to get people to smoke. And you could, we don't talk politics on this channel. We're not getting political, and I'm not making political statements. I'm just saying that I know, as being in the technical community, you can design these things so that it's advantageous to, make money or do whatever you want to do. So YouTube isn't totally pristine in this as well. I'm not talking about COPA. I'm just talking about they're out to make money. They're out to make that stock raise. There's they have their own agenda, and if they come to a quarterly meeting and their revenue is down, the stock goes down. And so how do they make money? They have a cloud, so Google Cloud Platform, but they also have YouTube itself and ad revenue, and they need that ad revenue. And the only way to get that ad revenue is by more videos and more creators and more people watching. And so you got to figure out, from a design perspective, how do I get people to come back to YouTube and not go over to Facebook or Instagram or turn on the TV? How do I keep them here? You got to have cool, fun people like Mr. Mountain Man, right? So anyway, that's another little thing. I'm going back to the comments. I always vow to read all the comments. So I'll see if you guys are giving me a thumbs down at the bottom or whatever after my monologues. Hi, Blondie. Hey, what about Don? Hey, Don. Hey, Hoosier. Sorry, Chris, about T-shirts. Too funny. Chris, hello. I can't stay long. Hey, Vols fan. Great information. Thanks, Blondie. I appreciate it. Blondie, you've had a couple of live streams recently that I would have loved to have joined, but I was like in the car or something, and sometimes I can turn those on. So I want to make sure I get to one of yours because I have notifications on. I think everybody on this channel right here, Chris, Yitz, Blondie, I have notifications on for all you guys. I'm going to make all my thumbnails Camel Joe from now on. One thing I love about Chris, he got a great sense of humor. I tell you what, Chris is a great guy. I don't know if Don is still here with Will in the earshot or Chris, but we keep saying on all the live streams, like to get together. And I know this is a busy time of the year. I'm trying to figure out, I have no idea how to even get a hold of Will because Will, you guys get like 10,000 emails and I don't think I could even send you one. Maybe I'll hit up Chris with some dates or something like that I could potentially come over to Gatlinburg and maybe we could do something. But I'm sensitive to the fact that it's the holidays. So maybe it's January after the dust settles and we could go out and eat some pancakes or something like that and, go for a winter hike or something fun. I don't know, whoever wants to go. If you guys are interested, or maybe we could do something before then. It's just been busy. But I really want to get together with you guys to see Dawn again and Will, Chris, Mindy, whomever. That would be fun. I'm going to make, yep. Okay. Enjoy watching your YouTube videos. I enjoy watching YouTube videos more than your TV. Traveling Hoosier. I agree. I watch a lot. There's times where I like a lot of people, I'll cast it up on the big TV and then watch YouTube instead. But I'll admit I still have satellite because I like to watch the Steelers. That's my nice thing at the end of the week to watch is I like to watch the Steelers. I'm such a fan and I have to have the satellite in order to watch them live. What's it say? Me too, traveling YouTube better than TV. Yeah, Nikki Mays. Yep. Blondie, thanks for saying that about the thumbs up. I appreciate that. That's really nice of you. Anytime somebody does that. Yep. And there you go. I agree. Hey, Nikki Mays. Nikki Mays. Children's equals 13 less than my 17-year-old watches, and he's okay. Yep. Hey, Cooey. Message retracted. That was a huge help, Mr. Man. Thank you. I appreciate that, Tim. I'm glad I didn't waste my breath on it. I just wanted to give you some insight from this side of the community, the kind of, I think I put it well. Again, from the 10-minute mark to the 26-minute mark, roughly. If you guys want to share that with anybody, if anybody's confused, just say, hey, check out the live stream. I'm not trying to get views out of that. Honestly, I just want people to feel comfortable because I think most of the people making videos are from that side of the fence that are have child intended content with nothing wrong with that, but they're going to be severely impacted and they're trying to make a backlash about it. And again, I feel badly for that side of the community because I know they're going to be impacted. Yes, Chris, that's exactly what I was about to say. Chris is spot on. I also think some people are using fear mongering to get views on COPPA. You bet. You make a thumbnail going like this and then say, COPPA's shutting down YouTube. You never make videos. That's exactly what it is. It was crystal clear to me when I saw it. I remember the day I logged in, it's like, you need to pick this option. And I'm like, well, I'm a family channel. I was about to say kids. And then I was like, wait. Let me look at the information. What's it? Okay, yeah, no, I'm not. This is not primarily intended for children, blah, blah. Is there a new platform if it goes? Cooey, I wouldn't worry about that. I don't think YouTube's going I know YouTube's not going anywhere. It's just evolving. That's all. I think that's the appropriate word. It's evolving and it will continue to evolve in good ways and bad ways. Unfortunately and unfortunately. The age of social media, the cloud, and all this is relatively new when you look at the spectrum of time. You're talking about realistically, the last 5 years is when bandwidth, especially on cell phones and cell phone sophistication. At home, we've had better bandwidth for some time, but the cloud sophistication has really been, 2013, 2014 to current date is when a lot of this has become potential. My concern is marking a video for adult viewing, which allows ad revenue notifications and some small that would apply to children, causing the video to be flagged. Traveling Hoosier, no, remember, it's not, you're not marking it for adult viewing. You're just saying this is not intended for, like, you're not having 2 dolls or building Legos or a video game channel or reading a nursery rhyme book or doing animation or something like that. You might have not missed the front end of it, but they're not something small that would apply to children to cause the video to get flagged. When you put your video as not intended for children, you're exempting yourself from that. You're saying, this is not intended for children. Children should not be, I don't want to say not watching it, because I was very clear. You can still have a family channel. It just means you're saying, I said it's not for kids, doesn't mean you're not have a family channel and you're clean and all of that. I'm telling you, the people they're going after are the ones that want to press that button that says this is for kids. That's what will be scrutinized. Watch the original YouTube video that is agnostic to it and not tainted by people with hidden agenda. It's totally focused on what happens if you press it for kids. It's not about if you basically exempt yourself and say it's not intended for kids. So I hope that helps clear it up. I wouldn't worry. Well, Chris said that's my concern too. I'm a little behind on the comments, so I hope I'm catching. I never lose what you're saying, but that is so true. Sometimes it leads me to something good and interesting, and then there's some of them that don't. Yep. Thank you, Mr. Matt. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, Blondie. Not some or some. Yeah, we'll be down in May if you want to meet Traveling Hoosier Night. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I can get over to Gatlinburg in about 2 hours. I just have to plan, and sometimes my schedule's a little bit unpredictable. So I don't want to make any promises for anything, but I'm sure in this community we'll have time to, meet together and be able to have those opportunities. I was fortunate enough when the YITS community was doing meetups to be able to meet some really nice people then that I know on this channel. And then, but that's not the only avenue that we can meet. And also live streams. I know this is virtual, but we're able to, be together here. And so we will be down. Yeah, but yep. Oh no, not the Steelers. I'm still mourning. Sorry about that, Vols fan. Yeah, I know the Bengals are having a rough year. And if you noticed, you guys are keeping in that other quarterback and not putting Dalton in because you probably want to get the first string quarterback next year or first round draft pick, which will give you a better quarterback. There's no way they wanted to put Dalton in and get a win for nothing when you're not playoff eligible, just for ego, and then take yourself out of that first round draft pick, number 1 pick. So be prepared. Your team is going to be putting it on 70, 80% the rest of the way. You probably already knew that anyway. No problem always. Yep. Steelers way better than the Eagles, and I live in Southeast PA. Although the Eagles had a few good years, I really wanted them to beat the Patriots back in 2000. And what year was that? Like 3, 4? I don't know. Donovan McNabb. Donovan McNabb. You explained this really well. Thank you so much, Mr. Matt. I appreciate that, Crystal. I'm glad that helped. I hope it helped. Share it with your friends. Kind of let people, feel a little easy, especially if they do it at the channel level. And that's the easiest thing to do. Again, I'll put the link in the video. So if you have a channel and you haven't done it yet, or you have multiple channels, it's just a button. And they tell you that once you press it, you don't have to keep selecting for every video. It'll just perpetually put that as all your videos. So anyway, thank you for explaining in detail. I appreciate that, Traveling Hoosier. And if there's any comments that somebody thinks of after this, like, what about this? Put it in the comments and we can continue the dialogue. Cooey, I'm really glad that Cooey's here tonight from Ireland. So that's, what is it, 9-3? Is it like 3 o'clock in the morning there? You're like me. You're a little bit of a night owl if you're still there. But Ireland's awesome. Now, I said I was Croat earlier. I'm also Irish. Thank you. The lives, lives, they are the best. Yeah. Oh, live stream. Yeah. Yeah, not sure of the Zach plan, but Dalton is starting. Oh, are they? I'm wrong. I'm just completely wrong. Okay. I figured, and even on the Steelers Talk Radio, they were saying there's no way you can't make the playoffs. So at this point, just let that guy play and lose all your games and get that rebuild. So back to the lighter content. Always enjoy your live stream. I appreciate that. I love having you guys here. I'm sorry when I don't have these things on Monday. Sometimes I'm working or something's going on. And it's funny because I could have them other days of the week. I call them Mountain Man Monday because Mountain Man Monday. Did you guys? I had this in the picture earlier. I said my grandmother made this. I believe this is crochet, but if anybody does it and it's not, they can correct me if I'm wrong. But this is like a little decoration. I had this since I was a kid. I think this was my mom's, and then mom and dad, and then they gave it. I don't know. I found it today. That's in the turkey. So thank you for thank you. Yep, always nice. 2 a.m. I have a kid to get up at 7:30. Boy, I've been on that too, Cooey. I mean, there's those 4 or 5 hour sleep nights. I tell you, it's funny because it's interesting because there's a lot of people that have a philosophy. Like if you watch like motivational videos on YouTube and stuff, Arnold Schwarzenegger will talk that about a lot. He's like, if you need to sleep faster. He's encouraging like, a lot of people are like sleep less, do more. I'm not advocating for that. Everybody's different. Sleep is definitely good for the body. I get cranky and tired and sore and all kinds of stuff when I don't sleep enough. But there's been plenty of times I've had 4 hours. I've even had when I've had to fly somewhere or do something and I have an early flight and I procrastinated packing the night before or something like that. And I set my alarm and it says your alarm is going off in 1 hour and 45 minutes from now. I'm like, good gracious. So I always make up for that sleep later. Yes, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I hope everybody has a real nice Thanksgiving this week. I told people before I love Thanksgiving because, there's a lot of great holidays, but I guess it gets compared to Christmas or in that vicinity because Christmas is around the corner. And the thing about Christmas is that, Christmas has gotten out of hand because, well, first of all, it's extended so long. And then, the material side of it. And that's not even me. Like Charlie Brown made fun of it. Even in the old Charlie Brown, they used to make jokes about it. It's so material and, the meaning of Christmas, whatever, I'm not making any statements. I'm just saying that, Christmas can be stressful because you feel like I got to buy presents and it's expensive and all this stuff or, whatever. And got to wait for Santa Claus to come and, get me that gift that I really, really want. And so you don't know if he's going to bring it or not. And so, Thanksgiving's nice just because it's just about a meal. And all the meal, especially they put everything on sale at the grocery so it doesn't break the bank and you get the turkey. We were getting the turkey, that 24-pound turkey, 99 cents a pound. I think most groceries do that. And so $24 for this thing that's going to feed, like 3 days of leftovers. And then all the other stuff goes on sale. And then if you just have your immediate family or your friends or your neighbors or whoever you have, or yourself, and you just watch the Macy's Day Parade and you have a good time watching movies on TV, it doesn't matter, whatever it is. I just think Thanksgiving's a real cozy, nice holiday. We talked about Black Friday before, which is now Black Thursday. It really starts on Thanksgiving Day. I don't know. The internet has made it weird because you got Cyber Monday. And so really it's like a big sale from, like Wednesday to Monday. It's kind of crazy. Cyber Monday is nuts because so many distracted people at work, because of the internet, because they're looking for deals on Amazon and stuff. Same. It must be the Irish in you. Yeah, it probably is. From my family to yours, I hope you all have a wonderful and blessed Thanksgiving with family and friends. I appreciate it, Tim, to you as well, and all your family and friends. I agree. Christmas is commercial now, lost the family feeling. Nikki, when they put up or they start rolling out the Christmas decorations at Sam's Club the end of August, at least the pallets. Speaking of hidden agendas and making money, everybody's out to capitalize and make a buck. Like I said, Charlie Brown, the old Peanuts movies, the two Christmas movies, they both poke fun at it. On this sleep note, I'm heading there now. Thanks, Mr. Mountman. Good night, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. Safe travels, those traveling. Vols fan in Ohio, appreciate it. Thank you so much. I hope you have a nice Thanksgiving. And yeah, if anybody's traveling this weekend, I don't know by the statistics of the department that trapped the DOT or whatever, but if you think about it, this holiday, the way it's structured, because Christmas, moves throughout the week, but Thanksgiving is always on Thursday. So when I used to travel on the interstate, you drive on Wednesday and you come home Sunday. And that Sunday, leaving on Thanksgiving weekend is a nightmare. The traffic, it doesn't matter where you go. I remember traveling between Ohio and North Carolina in the middle of nowhere, Virginia, West Virginia. One car gets in a wreck and it'll back up in the middle of nowhere for miles and miles and miles. That Sunday used to be one of my least favorite days for driving. I think the second worst I'd experience is whatever day follows New Year's Day, because everybody is going back to get work started, that next day, and the traffic just is crazy. So watch out for the nuts out there and just take your extra time. I never understood the people that try to make it like a competition to save, 20 minutes. It's not that I drive like slow or anything. It's just, I don't want to risk anybody. And and a lot of people out there do, especially if you see this, somebody on the cell phone and they're driving. Yeah, people are crazy. I already decorated my house for Christmas last week. Well, that's cool, Blondie. I like to do it the day after Thanksgiving. That Friday just seems like a natural start to Christmas. Santa Claus finished up the Macy's Day Parade. You enjoy family, and then you start rolling out all those decorations. Which reminds me, after I get through the comments, I was going to talk about saving some money on Christmas decorations. It's probably obvious. Thanksgiving football, Lions. Are you a Lions fan, Traveling Hoosier? If you are, I will always remember the Steelers playing the Lions on Thanksgiving Day, I think 1996 or 8, one of those years, and the coin flip. And the bus said like heads, and then the umpire was like tails, and the bus is like, no, heads. And then it was tails. It was back when you didn't get a second chance, and then they marched down and they won the game. So, yeah, it's been a while. We played on Thanksgiving since then. I can't remember if we won the game or not. Yes. Right, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving, especially you, Mountain Man. See you soon. Good night to you, Cooey, and I appreciate you showing up on that late night, and I hope you can get up in the morning and feel rested. Oh, hey, Kentucky girl. Well, yeah. Well, I'm agreeing with you. Does anybody know why YouTube won't notify me if somebody's going live? It's only notifying me after it's over and been posted. The only thing I can say is the obvious, Kentucky girl. You have to make sure that the bell is pressed. So you say subscribe, but then you have to press the bell. Then there's 2 notifications. There's all and customize or custom. If you accidentally hit custom, you may have customized it where it doesn't show up. The other one is all. Now, if you've done that, and you're looking for notifications on your phone, it's weird if you don't get the notification at the end, but on like Android, I know at least, you can turn off notifications from an app. I'm not talking about like bell notifications. I'm talking about that instead of having the little banner pop up on your phone that says, Mr. Mountman has gone live, you can actually override it. So it's not about your YouTube account. It's just the YouTube app. You're suppressing notifications. So the only thing I can think is make sure the bell is set to all, and make sure your phone has not overridden the app's ability to notify you. Beyond that, I'm not really sure. I noticed too that sometimes I get a delayed notification, like it'll come up like 10 minutes into the live stream. I don't think at the end, but and also if you have a lot of notifications, again, I only know Android, and you swipe down from the top and you've been getting a lot of stuff, it's possible it popped up, but it's lost in emails and whatever else you got going on. Go Tennessee Titans. Yeah, Blondie, Tennessee's looking pretty good this year after they got rid of what's the quarterback? The guy from Oregon. He slips my name. Mariota. I don't know if he's still playing for you guys or not. Traveling Hoosier said heads. He remembers. Yeah, that was a crazy game. I think they talk about it every year too. Have you changed? Not sure, Kentucky Girl. YouTube notifications may be weird because they are working on the notification thing for the kids channel. Maybe Chris is right. Maybe they're, again, through this evolution, through some of the changes. But I notice sometimes I get delayed notifications as well. In fact, Chris, I started to get worried because I had to check it again yesterday because I was like, I haven't seen Chris's stuff in a while. And I want to support, and be there and say howdy. So I went back, I checked, sure enough, it says all. So I'm probably just not around whenever you've done your live stream, but definitely want to be a part of that. So I was going to talk about a few minutes about saving money. So the other day I was at Walmart and guess what I bought? I bought 2 planters, planters for the plants, 2 sprinklers, and a sprinkler wand for cleaning the car. You know why I bought that stuff? Because it's winter and all that stuff's on clearance. I'm serious, 80% off. It was all stuffed away in a corner where in the Christmas decoration section, and it was all just on clearance. And so you always want to buy off schedule all your stuff. For example, we needed some patio furniture, and you never buy patio furniture if you need it or anything for outside in March, April, May, June, July, August. Never. You'll pay full price, or they'll tell you it's 10% off or something like that on July 4th. You wait till September. September is the month. They'll throw that stuff 80% off at Lowe's. Lowe's is the best. Lowe's, Walmart, Home Depot, 80% off. If you ever need patio furniture, you buy it off season. And Christmas decorations, there has been 2 times I've been in Walmart, probably around December 28th, 29th, and they'll be not like Kmart, but they'll be attention shoppers, all the Christmas decorations are now 80% off. Everybody goes over to those aisles and, you buy wrapping paper for pennies on the dollar, or you buy, Christmas ornaments or light up things for the yard, or those blow up or whatever you like. Christmas tree. Last Christmas tree, I got 80% off because I bought it after Christmas. Now, it seems kind of anticlimactic because Christmas is done. You're like, I have to wait till next year. Who cares? You're paying pennies on the dollar. Always buy everything after the season is done. I'm telling you, you save bundles of money. So anyway, there's a little tip for shopping and saving some money. Always buy what you went in the off season. You get killer deals. That's right. I mean, for example, football stuff. If you like brand name apparel, or you just want to get something that's a keepsake for 10 years, like a nice Nike sweater or something like that, buy it in March. Go on to fanatics.com and buy that in March. They're getting rid of all of last year's models. Who cares what last year's model is of clothing? And buy because football's done. They're going to get that next year's stuff usually around the draft in April or May. So March is a great time. Winter coat. This was interesting. I needed a new winter coat. There's a particular one that I wanted that was a little more than I wanted to buy. And it turns out they only made it for 1 year. It was last year. So I went online, and even though it's winter, I got lucky because it's last year's model. Who in the world would know my coat is last year's model? I got it for 50% off. There were multiple stores online that had it. I got a great deal on an amazing winter coat that I'm probably going to be able to wear for 10 or 15 years if I take care of it, at least, and saved a bunch of money. So yeah, anyway, I'm sure everybody's got their way to save money. Yes, 80% off, and they're still making money. Isn't that right, Nikki? That kind of shows you the secret sauce, right? How much the markup is on all this junk that we buy. It's incredible. Everybody's got their hand in the pot, from the shipper to the warehouse, to the manufacturer, to the merchant itself. By the time it gets to the consumer, it's got all kinds of markups. So when they're actually able to dump it for inventory, they show their true colors. 80% off, and they're still making probably 10%. Yeah. I have already missed you talking about it, the new YouTube rules. Yeah. So Kentucky Girl, if you're talking about what I was talking about, if you go back to when this is done, I'm about to wrap up in a minute or two here, a few minutes. If you go to the 10 minute and 30 minute, oh my goodness, can I speak, Mr. Mountain? 10 and a half minute mark, 10 minutes and 30 seconds on this live stream. and watch for about 15 or 20 minutes. I kind of go through that stuff. I missed you talking about, did it have Kentucky Girl written on it? What did she buy? Oh, I sent an entry blank for your t-shirt contest this week. Chris, I got to see. Chris, what's this was where it would be cool if you could have, you know what? That's two things I'll bring. That's three things I want to bring up. One, I don't see what's the name of it? Out and About, just Out and About. Geez, I'm sorry, I forgot. Just Out and About visits this channel from time to time, and I visit theirs. Uses an awesome live stream platform that will show who said what at the bottom when you click it as the person having the live stream. I totally meant to start doing that. They get the credit because I'm telling them that I don't know if Don or any of them will come back and watch this, but I want to use one of those. That's really cool. And like OBS and some others, they have the ability to have like guest visitors and stuff like that. I was about to say that would be fun if Chris was here, because I'd be like, hey, Chris, let me pull you up here. And why don't you talk about your plug your t-shirt contest? And then I could have Chris come up and then I could do that. I'd have to prepare that ahead of time. Yeah. Anyway, the other thing is I didn't have a chance. I don't know how many people are here still, but speaking of evolution, the evolution of this channel, not from a rule standpoint. I'm talking about content. I am breaking some of the rules as far as having, if my goal is to have a narrowed and successful channel. And I know this. I'll do a food review, then I'm in Myrtle Beach, then I'm at the Japanese airport, then I'm doing a motorcycle ride, and who knows what I'll be doing next. It's almost like my other channel. I'm a bit eclectic here. So the purpose of my channel as Mr. Mountain Man is based out of Western North Carolina, here in the mountains and the adventures that I do and go on. I think for the most part, people enjoy the random nature of what I do, but the reality is that having a given theme is really what it takes to be successful on YouTube. But again, that's not necessarily, as I've talked about multiple times, my exact agenda for this. I just want to make sure that people enjoy what I'm making. But the reality is why my channel doesn't grow is because, you know, I'm not just doing motorcycle rides, or I'm not just doing only Western North Carolina and only mountains and capturing that audience in and near around, you know, Asheville and Western North Carolina and Weaverville and all those areas, and staying there and keeping everything else out. I pretty much have the feeling if I'm doing something fun that I think is interesting, then I want to share it with my community. But that is pretty much, it's a broad set of content. So it doesn't necessarily support my channel's rapid growth. But again, that's not what I'm after. So it's weird because I always have this feeling that I want people to enjoy my videos because I spend time on making them. But I'm not really trying to grow aggressively. I'm totally fine with it happening organically. And if I was at whatever subscriber or watch count this time next year and it didn't move and I still had all these great people here like Tim, Nikki, Kentucky Girl, Chris, Don, both Dons, Don, Will, whoever's here, I really would be content. But it's interesting because sometimes I feel a little bit disorganized, like, you know, is this a good thing to always be eclectic with my videos? As long as the feedback is positive, I guess I'll just continue on doing that. For example, I have like 2 videos canned from Orlando, and you know, again, that's going out, you know, again, you know, Japan, the Philippines, Myrtle Beach, mountains, motorcycle rides, Orlando. There's not necessarily consistency, and I see that. Yeah, so Tim, I'm gonna have those Orlando videos. Those will be next on deck, and I've got other stuff that I want to do that might bump in before it. You know, maybe holidays and not. And that reminded me of the other thing, and then I'll wrap up. So yes, I have some new content. And I apologize. It's just been busy with work, but I've got some clearing here, I think, some runway. So I should be able to do some more editing and get that in. And the personality, the persona, which we get to see during the live streams. Nikki, that's exactly it. So I think I'm not going to judge myself and my persona, and Mr. Mountain Man, that's for you all to do. But you're right. I mean, when we watch television shows and YouTube channels, we typically like the personality of the person putting on the content, or at least find them interesting and intriguing in one way or another. You've seen the channels where people are a little bit dry and their channel, it's just not, it just doesn't take off necessarily. They can have great content, but if there's not a personality behind it. So I understand that too. I only be myself. I don't really put on a character act or anything like that. So hopefully people find this interesting. Obviously I have the ability to yap on, so the live streams work. And I really do enjoy sharing what things I do with people. As I mentioned before, I've gotten a few comments, like one person said that they were handicapped and they would never be able to go on the motorcycle. And I just thought that was really neat that I was able to share something with them. Or maybe somebody who can't go on vacation for financial reasons or don't want to or whatever, and they get to see the mountains, or me going on a hike or doing something, I don't know, whatever. If people find that interesting, that's pretty cool. Or maybe somebody that just don't want to go on vacation. They like to go on vacation somewhere else. Maybe they'll never go to Japan or the Philippines, and they're like, that's cool because I've never seen that and I wouldn't have looked at it, but I know Mr. Mountain Man, so I get to see it through his eyes. So as far as evolution of the channel, I still need to make my channel trailer. And I really wanted to do it when the mountains had the leaves on them. I'm not even talking about changing. I wanted to do it with a green background and make my channel trailer. And because I have people say, what's your channel about? And once in a while I'll get a little tongue tied because I don't have a narrow thing. I'm not just doing motorcycle rides and I'm not just doing food reviews. It's just Mr. Mountain Man Adventures. And people will say, well, what does that mean? And whatever adventure I go on or whatever neat place or whatever I do. And so this breaks some of, by the way, when I say YouTube rules, it's not a real rule. What I'm saying is that if you're trying to run the straight and narrow path to have a channel that has a defined domain or agenda, I'm not following that right now. And I know that consciously. So, as long as people don't have a problem with that, I'll continue to be kind of wide in the content that I deliver. A great channel. Well, I appreciate you, Blondie, saying that. It's about me. Yeah. There was something else I was going to say in the middle of all that. And now I'm drawing a blank. What was I talking? I usually don't do that. Let's see. Watch me draw a blank. Yeah, about the content, the trailer, the upcoming. I know what I was going to say. I'm fooling myself, and I never had intention. I cannot compete with the bigger channels that are hitting up certain events or places or attractions to be like unique. So what Nikki's saying is spot on, and whoever else made that about the persona or personality. It has to be about the person being interesting, because this is not my full-time gig. So if something interesting happens in Western North Carolina, I might be third or fourth in line to show up. And based on my schedule, it comes out 6 weeks late. Look at the Apple Video Festival I did. I went with tremendous people, with Chris and Will and Don, and Dan the Mountain Man was there. My video came out last like a month and a half later. I just am not in the business nor want to compete with the big channels that do all this stuff full time. I can't. And so if I try to race that, it's just not happening. It's never crossed my mind. So I don't have a competitive edge in that. So it has to be about something interesting, about seeing whatever I do through my eyes, even though you might be able to query it and watch it on somebody else's channel first. So that's a little insight too. Your list says travels and events, and that's what you do. That's right, Marvin. That's what I enjoy, the feeling of the community. Yes, I really enjoy your channel. There's only about 5 channels I watch consistently. Yours and Krista t-shirts are 2 of them. Well, thank you, Crystal. I appreciate that. I'm sure Chris does as well. And I think that's a great note to finish up this Mountain Man Monday pre-Thanksgiving, handmade, crocheted from Grandma Thanksgiving. So I want to say thank you to everybody tonight. I want to say thank you for letting me go on about the technical perspective on COPA and hopefully putting this community at ease for folks that have non-intended children's channels to march on and enjoy YouTube and be successful. And you're going to do a great job, everybody that's out there. Oh, Chris had a quick comment in there. I don't want to compete with them either. Life's too busy. That's why I have a dozen videos to edit and release. Hey, we're in the same camp. We should do that, Chris. We should do like a funny video of like being late and editing. I mean, I know how it is, Chris. I don't get to see Chris a lot, but I imagine he has it similar to me where you've worked, you're tired, and then you got this video in the can and you're like, I'm exhausted. Do I want to edit or do I want to like go to bed or something? And a lot of times just go to bed or maybe watch TV or YouTube or, you know, relax a little bit. It takes a little bit of work to get into it. That's why the live streams provide a nice balance. Sorry I was late again. What time do you normally start this if you're going to do it on Monday? So Kentucky Girl, I'm going to do it typically. Oh, I'll tell you a funny story real quick. I can't believe I forgot this. This was supposed to start at 7 o'clock tonight, but my wife lost her phone and left it at the park and didn't happen to have it locked either or a lock on it because the kids use it sometimes and it was easier. What a pain. We ended up getting the phone, but I went to the park. It was at night and we were looking with a flashlight and we didn't see it. And I kept calling it and calling it. And it was weird because somebody texted me at the gym. It was on my wife's account and said, I found this phone on the bench. And I'm like, I assume it's my wife. And I'm like, we'll just leave it there. The owner will get it. I didn't want her to bring somebody's phone home. And they're like, but I found it on the bench. And I'm thinking about my wife. I'm like, what are you talking about? Just leave the phone there. You know, I'm sure the owner will want to go back and find it. And then I get home and she's like, I lost my phone. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, I thought that I should have called that person. They weren't clear and didn't articulate that it wasn't their phone. So I kept calling it and calling it. And then the person finally answered and they said, my girlfriend found it. I'll meet you at Ingles. So I raced over there and got it. I was late. So anyway, long-winded answer, Kentucky Girl. These live streams on Monday start somewhere between 7 and 9:15. Yes, I have started them pretty late before. There's been a time or two I'm like, you know what? I just want to get on with the community. I wasn't able to get on to, actually, I'm going to say 7 to 9:30, somewhere in there. And I didn't do it today, and I said I would, and I apologize. I normally put on my Twitter account if there is or is not going to be a live stream. I will continue to try to do that. You do not need a Twitter account to check that. You just go to Mr. Mountain _man. So twitter.com, Mr. Mountain _man. And that's my Twitter account. You can just read it. You don't have to sign up for anything and you can see my tweets. So yes, everybody. So you are so sorry I was late. You're so sweet. Have a great Thanksgiving. You too, Marvin. Thank you. You are what you eat. That's right, Marvin. I'm a turkey. Have a good night. Mr. Mountain Man, you get me? Yeah, that's right. I know. We're just tired, and I've got like 3 in the can too. I would rather have quality people than quantity of people. That's cool. I like that, Tim, too. That's really cool. That is wise. That could be the quote of the night. You see your loyal followers when you're later than others. Good test. Your channel will grow. And again, Nikki, it's okay if it doesn't, because it's tempting to look at numbers and that. Everybody wants to be successful in everything they do in life. But I really, I put this in its place. Just if this stays a small, intimate thing, that's fine. And that's not, there's no hidden agenda there. I really mean it. As long as you guys are happy and we're having fun. And by the way, being small and intimate is cool because I can read the chat. If it gets big, then I'm going to miss some of that stuff. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone in the Mr. Mountain Man community. Yes, happy Thanksgiving. So thank you to everybody who did do the thumbs up and joined us tonight and gave me your 2 cents and talked to me about Thanksgiving. And everybody, Blondie, Chris, Tim, Kentucky Girl, Nikki, Traveling Hoosier, Marvin, Let's see. Crystal, I don't know if you were still around. I know a couple people said goodnight. Tim Wheaton was in here earlier. I don't know if Dawn and Will, they were here way earlier. I don't know if they dropped off because I haven't seen them in a while. Triple Mountain Man Mom was here earlier. And anybody else who's in there that likes to quietly watch, I wish you and your family, your friends, whoever, a happy Thanksgiving. Hope everybody has a great week. Next Monday, I don't think I have any conflicts, so I'll probably be here again as well. Safe travels to everybody that's doing that. And you guys have a happy Thanksgiving. So it's Mr. Mountain Man signing off. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Take care.